I'm so excited to talk with you today about the top 3 dating mistakes that I see women making all of the time that are keeping people from having true love. So I'm Violet Lange. I'm an expert on love, dating, and relationships, and this topic is really juicy. Now, if you don't understand how to date in a way that's effective, you're going to be spinning your wheels and probably get annoyed and just stop dating altogether and then develop a negative mindset about dating and about love. And I don't want you to turn into one of those bitter, hardened women. Now, the deal is that 20% of relationships start online. That means 80% of relationships start in real life, and yet 50 million people are on the apps. So we have all this technology, but it doesn't mean that more people are finding love. And I want to save you from all of that swiping and all of that heartache. Because when you know how to date like a queen, you can attract your king and feel fabulously feminine along the way, and get into a healthy relationship so much faster. The average person is single for 5 years in between relationships. Now, some of you watching this may already have been single for 5 years or more, and I want you to find your person and have a great life so you don't have to worry about growing old alone. Now, the number one mistake that women make when they're dating is that they're hiding behind the apps. So like I just shared, 80% of relationships don't start online. But if you're not sure where to go to meet the right person, if you're not sure how to flirt effectively, if you're not sure how to feel confident in a way that feels authentic to you, you could just be hiding behind the apps and getting into a darker and darker pit when it comes to dating. Because the apps are an algorithm. And so if we start to feel kind of negative or overly eager and we're swiping on the wrong people, the algorithm gets kind of skewy and it's going to give you lower and lower quality people. So if you are going to use the apps, you have to know how to use them in the right way. And that's something that I teach my clients. So instead of hiding behind the apps, you need to be out and about, and you need to be doing things you love. And you need to be doing things where you could meet a potential partner. You know, going to a knitting class or a wine tasting class or a book club probably isn't going to cut it. And a lot of times as women, we might be scared to actually put ourselves out there or to do something other than using the apps because it feels like it's going to be hard work or it's going to be scary. And that's why it's really important to have a coach or a mentor who can hold your hand through every step of the process, all the way from figuring out what sort of person you want to be with, how you're going to meet that person, where you're going to meet that person, and then the skills and tools you need to convert those events into actual dating opportunities and those dates into amazing partnership that's committed and solid. Now, the second major mistake that I see women making all the time is that they're dating from their head. So they're only thinking about who the guy is on paper, or what he looks like, or how much is in his 401k. Now, I'm not saying that those things aren't important, but if you're dating from your head, you're going to be not paying attention to what your body is saying. And that means you might be missing out on red flags. Like, as a woman, your intuition is really, really strong, but you might not trust it, or you might not be empowered enough to act on it. Or you might be just pushing it to the side because your brain is saying, I've got to find my person and I've got to just, go for what looks good versus what feels good. And I don't want you to make that mistake because you're going to get into relationships with the wrong sort of person for you. Someone who has a great job, but maybe doesn't treat you very well. And being with the wrong person who's not treating you like a queen can totally affect your self-esteem. Now, the third mistake that I see women make all the time when it comes to dating is that they think it's a numbers game, and they work themselves into a frenzy. They approach dating the same way that they do with their job or their side hustle or their entrepreneurial activities or their health, and we can all get really neurotic and really driven about it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but what I find time and again is that women get burnt out. They come to me saying, Violet, I'm on every single app and it's not working, and I'm exhausted, and I'm going out to happy hours 3 times a week and I'm never meeting anyone. And they're approaching dating just like they're approaching their job, and it's backfiring on them. Now, dating is not a numbers game, it's an energy game. You have to have your energy in the right place. I mean feminine energy, healthy boundaries, understanding your patterns of attraction, and integrating your head, your heart, and your body so that everything is aligned and you attract a partner who's aligned versus a partner who's imbalanced or wishy-washy or showing up one way, but truthfully is another way. And I don't want you to get stuck in those situations. So before I tell you more about these top 3 mistakes, I want to share with you about one of my clients. So when Heather came to me, she was feeling really dejected. She was wondering if she was ever going to find a partner. Now, she was a single mom and she had a great career. She loved her family, she loved where she lived, she had great friends, but she just wasn't winning in love. And she's stunning, she's absolutely beautiful. And so she felt like a failure. And the longer she tried to date in a way that worked for her, the more that she kept running into mistakes. She had actually already hired 2 or 3 other dating coaches who just couldn't help her get what she wanted. She felt like they were asking her to settle, or asking her to go on a bajillion dates, or they were asking her to do things that didn't feel authentic for her. And she really just wanted to find someone that she trusted, that she respected, that she was totally turned on by, and that would be a great dad to her daughter. And with our work together, I helped her to really understand how to date in a way that's feminine, receptive, authentic, and empowered. And this changed everything. She met her guy within a few months of us starting to work together, and they got engaged later that year. They got engaged, I think, 8 or 9 months after we began our journey together. They're still going strong and they're planning their wedding, which is happening in just a few months from now. And I couldn't be more excited. I get to see pictures of them on Facebook. He has a daughter, she has a daughter, and they've just created this beautiful family together. But it took her reaching out for help. And that's what I would say is the bonus 4th mistake that women make all the time, is they don't reach out for help. They just try to do this alone, put their head down and just work harder instead of working smarter, which relates to the 3rd mistake about overdoing it or getting into a frenzy and thinking it's a numbers game. But otherwise, they sometimes ask for help and reach out for help to the wrong people. You know, if you had something major going on with your health, yes, of course, you might search Google, but then you probably book an appointment with the doctor if it was serious, if it was persistent. If your dating challenges are serious and that you're not getting into a relationship, or if they're persistent and you've been single for a long time, or worse, if you've been trying things but it's not working, then you absolutely need to reach out for professional help. And that's why we offer free 20-minute discovery calls. And those calls are really amazing because you're going to get total value and clarity on what's been happening in your love life. And if we feel like it's a good fit to work together, then we'll invite you to have another strategy session with us. That's also a free call where we're going to get crystal clear on the sticking points that you're running into to having lasting love, and we'll create a game plan together for what you need to do differently to find and keep the love of your life and to feel fabulous along the way. So just go to violetlange.com/talk and set up your free discovery session now so you can take that next step to getting everything you've wanted when it comes to romance and love. Mwah.